Real Uncut. Are you ready?
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Real Uncut podcast with Adam and Jason.
What's good?
What's happening, dude?
Oh,
Hey,
man.
so this is
Excited
an
for this
interesting.
one.
Yeah. This is an interesting topic that we decided to bring to you guys, to bring to the Real Uncut. It's a little out of our realm. We're not professionals in the subject nature. This is just something that we randomly picked and thought that it was going to be a fun show, or think that it's going to be a fun show, and I think it will be.
Oh, yeah,
But
for sure.
disclaimer: if you're searching for podcasts on extraterrestrial, supernatural, or superstition, this is probably not something that you want to watch. This is just entertainment value. This is us talking shit, keeping it real, right?
Exactly. We're not professionals, and we don't know everything about superstitions and aliens, but we just felt like
UFOs.
it was an interesting topic to chop it up about.
Did you see my kiss cam video or the picture of me and the alien at the
Oh,
Coldplay
yeah.
concert?
Oh, yeah. I made a shirt out of it, and I posted
Yeah, I
it up on
know.
Road Keys.
That was funny.
Oh, that was hilarious.
But in all fun, leading up to this podcast, I wanted to do something fun. I just want to throw that out there. I thought it, this trend, that Coldplay kiss cam, it's huge right now. So I thought we'd dabble a little bit in it.
Right, for sure. On that note, I mean, I can just imagine how much money that guy's going to lose out on. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
Totally like destroyed his life. But hey, pay to play, right?
Right. You gotta, yeah, for sure. Hey, yo, so today we're gonna dive deep into to the other side, the other realm, the unforeseen forces in this world. We're gonna talk about ghosts, superstition, luck, and the big one, UFOs, and the secrets that have been talked about for years, since 40s, 50s. It's always been a big secret. And like I said, we're not professionals on this, but I find it interesting. And a lot of news is breaking on it. So I want to dive into it, talk about the Real Uncut, just have some fun with this. It's going to be a fun show.
Talk about some more recent stuff that's gone on in
Right.
the news and things like that when it comes to like paranormal, or because there's been a lot,
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
we
It's
say it all the
interesting. It's
time.
interesting.
Modern day, there's a lot of cameras around. There's a lot, ring doorbells, and
Right.
it seems like on every other street corner there's, everything's getting watched. Like everybody has eyes on what's going on now. UFOs, they're alien, extraterrestrial. It's becoming more of a thing now. Like government's coming out with it, and we don't want to get too deep into it yet, because that's going to be the grand finale. We'll save that towards the end of the show. But humans, they're obsessed with these kind of topics. We have been for years, right? The unknown, the unseen. It just sparks something in all of us to want to know about what is unknown. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was watching some of the YouTube videos, before we, just kind of getting, a feel of what's out there. And I just saw some of these cameras which caught like, aliens and, creeping around outside people's houses. And it's just hilarious
Yeah,
to me,
like
like some of these videos, like, it's so obvious these are faked. You know what I mean?
right.
And some
Like
look real,
like that one in
but
like the one in Compton. With do you think that was a fake video?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know how someone can have a thin neck like that. You know what I mean? I don't know what it could have been.
Right. That's the unforeseen, right? That's what sparks
Yeah,
our
for sure. I mean,
interest. That's what
the
makes
Ring
us want to
camera
talk.
didn't pick it up.
Yeah,
So it
but
was just weird looking.
sometimes my Ring camera doesn't even pick up the Amazon guy.
Right. Right. Yeah, I know. But I mean, it definitely looks like something strange. It doesn't look normal. You know what I mean? And it said it ran through their driveway and out the back gate. And
Right.
what the heck is that? You know what I mean? Like weird.
Yeah, that, and there's a lot of weird shit that's out there, right? So kicking off the first part of this, 3-step podcast that we're going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about the supernatural, ghosts, haunted houses, stuff like that. And then the second one we're going to jump into is superstition, like good luck, bad luck, that type of stuff. And then the finale, the third part of this is the UFO, the alien, the UAP is what they're calling it now. We'll dive into that here in a minute, but this first part, let's talk about supernatural, the ghosts, the spirits, haunted houses. I know one of the big ones that you brought up when we were talking about this was the that Annabelle doll that made headlines on all social media networks. About the dude that died. He was at that trade show. Oh, what was it called? It was like the Devil's Run or whatever.
Right.
It was a trade show out in Pennsylvania.
So I guess it's owned by Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yep.
And there was some movies made about it. Obviously, I mean everybody's probably seen them, but it looks nothing like what's in the movie. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Which is, that doll is
you got it. You
super
got to put
creepy.
you got to put that Hollywood effect on it.
Of course, yeah. So this is just like a plain old Raggedy Ann doll,
Right.
but they
And
says it stands like 3 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think
you know what I mean?
I think it was based off of the Raggedy Ann doll.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what they kind of, likeness of that Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, so some history on that is, basically these people that owned it, when they leave home, they'd come back and they'd find it like in different places.
Yeah, shit was moved. Like,
Yeah. And there
yeah,
was
it was
like
just
notes left, like help me and some other weird things, but nobody's ever seen any evidence of that. It's just stories
right,
from what I gathered.
right. And that was back in the 70s, when you really had to push for exposure on stuff like that to make a dollar or to make a story or whatever.
Right.
And the recent incident of it, the dude died that was on that trade show, the Devil's Run or whatever. TikTok and Instagram, they ran with it, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh yeah, this doll killed this dude, Dan Rivera." And they were kind of pushing the doll, actually killed him or whatever, and a lot of people believed it, but there's no hardcore evidence that was the case. You know what I mean?
Right. But I mean, they're saying, it could be some kind of supernatural connection there. You know what I mean? They're trying to tie that into him being with the doll because supposedly you're not supposed to move the doll. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and he's taking it on tour, and they find him dead in his hotel room, which is odd. And they're not giving out any reason for his death other than natural causes. Maybe.
Yeah. That's what they're
What I
calling
could
it, is
tell.
natural causes. And the doll wasn't in his hotel room. He had contact with it at that trade show or whatever. Is it BS? Is it, you know what I mean? Is it somebody just trying to create a story, believe by it? It's just something to talk about. And that's a lot of this stuff that we're going to cover today, right?
Right.
I think that the majority of it goes far beyond just the base layer of paranormal. It's made to sell, right? Hollywood's made billions off of stuff like this.
Sure. But it is strange. It is strange.
No,
It is
100%.
worthy to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah, for sure. It's strange. Did it really happen? No one knows, right? No one would probably ever know. But I call BS on it.
Yeah. I'm leaning more towards that myself. I just, it is strange, but just with the history of everything surrounding
Yeah, I know that
that
the
doll in the movies.
Yeah, and the doll goes
And
back to the 70s, and it's a story to tell. It's the wives' tales and
right.
all of the stuff that people back in the day used to talk about, and they want to keep it relevant, I guess.
Right. I mean, there'll probably be a movie about this, They'll
Yeah,
probably come out with
yeah.
some kind of new movie. I think they're working on one right now, actually, that is associated with that Annabelle doll.
Annabelle 6.
Probably.
Revenge of Annabelle.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. A lot of this shit's hard to grasp, but Hollywood plays a huge part in what we believe and what we talk about and make up when it comes to this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Before they started making movies about this, people talked about stuff like that, possessions and stuff like that. It was always talked about. And in the next part, we're going to talk about superstitions, but there's always those stories about, be a good person and don't do this because this will happen, right? A big one from like Hispanic culture was La Llorona, the lady that drowned her babies, or whatever. And
They're always threatened with those kind of scary.
Exactly.
When they'll come get you.
Yeah, don't go out too late, kids,
Boogeyman.
because the boogeyman under your bed, stuff like that.
Exactly.
It was always a part of parenting, and using that as a threat to your kids or whatever.
Right.
So,
well, some people crave this stuff. You know what I mean? They
do
this, they like to be scared.
For real, yeah. Haunted houses. Those are around Halloween when they come to town and they open up, and they got thousands of people going to them, right? Just for that thrill, that excitement, right, of being scared. Because growing up, like I said, it goes back to your childhood, and it goes back to your parents' childhood and your grandparents' childhood. There was always some sort of threat, right? Don't do this because this will happen. And and that's kind of, a teaser for the UFO stuff. The government's been playing, has been keeping UFO alien information from us for years. And it kind of ties in with the supernatural stuff. Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster, that's a huge revenue. Social media, people making videos out on hunts for trying to find Bigfoot or whatever. There's a lot of people that are into that, right?
Yeah, I mean, but there's a lot of instances where people have actually claimed to have come in contact with these things. You know what I mean? And it's hard to refute their stories because
it's so real.
They sound real, and there's witnesses also who claim it was real. You know what I mean? So who's to say they're lying? You know what I mean? Like, are they trying to get free publicity? Because some of them, it doesn't seem like, what are they going to get out of it? Other than to be looked down upon. Like crazy.
It's all for the it's all for the likes. It's all for the likes.
I mean, but even back in the day, they didn't get the likes, so it was just like, hey,
no, but
trying to get famous, maybe. I don't know.
Scientists have come out with like different avenues on trying to figure this shit out. A big thing is like that sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah.
Where your brain is active and you feel like it's a real thing.
Right. I've experienced it myself. So
have you?
Yeah, I just like it was when I was a kid, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't move, and I just felt like, screaming, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't move.
Right.
And I remember I was trying to yell out, but I couldn't. And it just felt like everything was starting to go dark, and then somehow I just snapped out of it.
Yeah. Weird. And the human brain is an amazing computer. It's so powerful, and you take shit from Hollywood, and you take shit from the old wives' tales and the old threats that we were just talking about, from your parents, and that stuff just it builds a story in your brain. Just the other night, so I fell asleep with one of those flavored Zen pouches, nicotine pouches. I fell asleep with it in my mouth and vividly woke up like in a panic, like I was eating like a Starburst or a sweet, some sort of chewy candy.
Mhm.
But it was, it was the flavored Zen pouch that I had in my mouth.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
So your
But it was
mind was
so
like playing tricks on you.
yeah, it was so vivid. It was so real. It was like I was actually like I actually had a Starburst in my mouth.
Right.
And going back like dreams and vivid dreams and your mind is so your brain is so powerful. Um,
Yeah.
and
You can see
we get
things that probably aren't there. Your mind creates it.
exactly, yeah, and we get fed this bull that I'm gonna call it bullshit. We get fed this bullshit throughout our lives, and we learn to believe it, and we learn to think that it's real, or you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
I
I think
mean,
that
even if you're watching that kind of like scary movie or whatever,
oh, exactly,
after it's over, you're like freaking out for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
you have to like, whatever, turn some lights on or
yeah,
whatever you got to
exactly.
do,
So why is it when it's dark, your brain switches into panic mode, and you're like, there's something down in the basement that I got to have lights on because I can't go without any light. But it's the same exact thing if you turn lights on or if they're off, right?
Right,
Um,
right.
it's going to be the same, the same thing. It's just the mind, like it plays tricks on you, and you're like, it's shit that we've been fed and been learned and been taught over the year, over the course of our lives since we were little kids, that there's always something that will get you, right? The monsters under your bed, the monster in the dark, right?
Yeah, exactly. The darkness just has a creepiness to it. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
and that's what
you
we've
know,
been taught.
you can't,
That's what
if it's dark, you can't see where you're going. You don't know what's around the corner,
your brain
rather
starts
than,
fucking with
in the
you.
daytime, it's different. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like that unexpected, what's going to pop out in front of you, you know, what's going to pop out of your closet or under your bed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
Your mind plays
You know,
tricks on you. I mean, that's basically what it is.
yeah, the Ghetto Boys said
Yeah,
it right. They made a
exactly.
song about it.
Exactly.
But it's true. Like, we've been molded into believing that, whether it's true or not. Do bad things happen in the dark? I mean, not
Good
really,
and bad
right?
things happen in the dark, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, I don't know. The human brain is a powerful thing, and um,
Right.
it makes us believe some crazy shit.
So basically, it's just like, that fear releases that dopamine drug into your system.
Oh, 100%.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So
yeah,
that, and your adrenaline starts pumping and
yeah.
that's how your body reacts to that stuff. You know what I mean?
And I think that's why people love haunted houses, right? They probably one of the most popular times of the year, the holidays of the year, is Halloween, right?
Right.
I think
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's that the scare factor, the like you said, the dopamine. Like, I want to feel afraid, so those haunted houses, they make billions of dollars throughout the United States, and
Right.
other countries too, I'm sure.
Yeah, for
um
sure.
it's the fear of the unknown, the story that the mind is built over in your own personal mind, from when you were a little
Yeah.
kid till now. And it's funny how we work, right? It's funny how our mind
Yeah.
works, and some of
I
the
mean,
scenarios that we can draw up in our mind.
I'll be honest, I've never seen anything myself, so it's hard for me to like say I could ever believe in anything like that other than
Yes, yeah, same
fairy
here.
tales. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen it. If I do, I'll let you know, but I've never seen it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. I hear a lot of stories about stuff like that. People seeing stuff, and um
yeah,
you you want to believe them, but at the same time, it's like, all right, so I like dissecting stuff, right? I want to see if it's real. I want to see if it's where you're at in life, and what caused you to think that, right?
Right.
Are you in a bad place? Is your mind in a bad place? Like, did you somehow dream this all up, or you know what I mean? I like to dissect
Right.
it and dig deep into it. Just just not go with the flow and say, oh shit, no, no way you saw this or that.
I hear a lot of like, after somebody like a close family member passes or something like that, they come to visit them, or you know what I'm saying? Which is
Right.
wild to me.
No,
It's,
yeah, it's wild to me too. Like I said, I've never firsthand experienced anything like that.
no.
Um, I mean, the
I've had dreams.
closest experience. Yeah, no, yeah. Closest experience that I've ever come to natural or ghost type shit. So years ago, I had a house built out by the airport, and there was always talks, and people would say, "Oh, this used to be like an Indian burial ground back in the day, and it's haunted or whatever." So that was already put into my mind, right? But
Right.
I specifically remember this one night, when I first moved into the house, and it was a couple days in, and I remember hearing these weird noises. It might have been new to the house noises or whatever, but my mind went back to all of the conversations that, oh, this was an old Indian burial ground. And, that was already stuck in my head. So I'm like,
Right.
all right, maybe it's some weird shit like that. It could have been a, separated air vent that was making a whistling sound or whatever. You know what
Right.
I mean? But my
Yeah, for
mind
sure.
automatically yeah, my mind automatically went to, "Oh, shit, it's some old Indian burial shit."
Yeah.
You
So
know what I mean?
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're good.
So I work up in the casinos, right? In Black
Right,
Hawk, Central City. And when I was working in Central City, the casino I worked at had like a basement, which is really weird. You know what I mean?
right.
And they
Like, it
always
was it
kept
a
the
new
lights
like,
off.
was it a new casino, or was this like an
No,
old
older
building that was
casino. And this
so it was
building is super, super old. Like,
so it was renovated into a casino?
yes, yes.
Okay.
And
Alright,
and
gotcha.
and they had even pictures up of, you know, what it used to be, people walking in with top hats.
Like
You
an
know what I'm
old
saying?
bar that the gold miners used to visit or
Yeah,
whatever.
the gold mining
Okay,
days. Yes.
gotcha. Alright.
And man, if I thought if I was ever gonna see something, it was gonna be there. You know what I
That's where it
mean?
was gonna be. Right, yeah.
But and I would go down in that basement, and I never saw anything, man. And even it was dark
But
down there,
but
never
but
saw
let
anything.
me get let me guess, you had an eerie feeling every time you went down there.
Super eerie. Super
Yeah,
eerie
see, it was
feeling.
the
Yeah,
the anticipation, the shit that you built up in your mind.
right.
Um, it's the fear of going to your basement, without the lights on.
Exactly.
Um, I have a vivid dream that, and they talk about dreams that you could have dreamt it last night, or you could dreamt it 7 years ago or whatever. But I have a dream that's pretty vivid, and it seems like in my mind, I could have only had it one time, but it seems like in my mind that I've had it over the course of many years, and it's always, I'm in a dark house, a dark place, and I always go to a light switch to try to turn it on,
Yeah.
and the lights never come on. Like, I know the lights work; they've worked in the past, but I'll go to turn it
Mhm.
on, and no lights, and then you get that eerie feeling in my dream.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills talking about it right now. But that, it's just weird. It's a weird fucking
Yeah.
dream that I've had, and
Right.
um, it's unexplainable. It's like, why the fuck am I dreaming this kind of shit? Um,
That's odd
but
that you say that. I
yeah,
have a similar dream.
do you really?
Yeah, but it's not
Let's hear it.
about
Let's hear it.
lights. It's just about like a house, and it's really like run down. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
it's maybe it's kind of like on a hill in the woods. Maybe it's just really
Oh, damn, you got it dialed in
creepy.
that far, huh?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of creepy looking. You know what I'm saying? But it is like it's just really gross looking house. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
and it's a recurring dream that I've had, you know.
See, and that's me too, but it's never
weird.
like it's never the same place, right? I couldn't call out like woods or on a mountain or whatever. It's like one time it might be an apartment, next time it might be a house or whatever, but it's
Right.
always I have that eerie feeling of being in the dark, and
Mhm.
I go to turn the lights on and the lights don't
Right.
work, and
Yeah.
it's fucking scary. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
the walking down into the basement with no lights feeling.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
just
always say
weird.
mine is in the woods, but from what I can recall, I know for sure like one was, but it's always that weird rundown type of house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Weird.
And what does it mean? Where did you pick up on that? Where did I pick
Right.
up on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your brain's fucking powerful, and we watch a lot of now we're constantly scrolling through TikToks. We're constantly picking up new things, right? Our algorithm in our brain is getting fucking huge. It's just weird how the human brain works and how we pick up shit, and
Yeah, for sure.
shit like that scares us. But I'm with you when you said like I've never been physically a part of being awake and seeing something weird.
Right.
Well, I take that back. Well, I talked about my house, the new house or whatever. And this was years ago. That was 20 years ago. But even going back to the 90s, me and my buddies, we went on a road trip. We went down to Vegas, into LA and then back. But on the way there, it was nighttime, probably 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever. There no light to be seen, and we're out in like the middle of Utah, with the mountains and stuff like that, just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And off in the horizon, we stopped, I don't know, to piss on the side of the road or whatever. And there was 4 or 5 of us, and we all saw the same thing. There was light, like out in the middle of nowhere, out in the middle of the desert. Like there was it looked like a rave going on, but in some place that would never have something like that. There was bright lights. It was pink, blue, orange, yellow, off in the distance, probably about 20 miles from where we were at on the road.
Mhm.
But you could just see the lights in the background. And there's
Okay.
a story back in 97 about the Phoenix lights and the UFOs that were flying in a pattern. It's just weird to think that maybe we really witnessed something like that, or maybe we witnessed some military shit or something. It was dead of the morning, like it was dark as shit. Nobody had
Yeah.
any reason of being out, right? But that's really and who knows, maybe it was a rave, maybe it was something like that. But back then, thinking like, we were freaked the fuck out. We're like, what the fuck is that? That shouldn't be happening right now.
Yeah, and I think, I've seen that too, where like not necessarily lights, but I've seen like, military copters and stuff like that,
Right.
landing out in the desert areas and things like that as you're driving by. Like you said, like on the way to Vegas or
Yeah,
I
out
think I
in the
was
middle of
going to
nowhere.
San Diego.
Yeah, it would be like a weeks long setup, right? Because there's nothing around there.
Yeah, that's pretty strange, man. You might have you may have seen
It
something.
might
I don't know.
might have been involved in that, and it wasn't
Yeah,
just me. It wasn't a dream. It was 4 or 5 of my buddies, on a road trip, and pulled over on the side of the road, like a dark road. It's dark on I-70, and I think it's Highway 5 or whatever, where it turns into right there after St. George in Utah.
right.
Like it wasn't a main, like it wasn't, it was just it wasn't a city around. It was just wide open spaces.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Let me
it
just
was
speak
pretty
on
weird.
this. So, a Colorado superstition, which I've heard recently, well, more recent, is Riverdale Road. Have you heard of that?
Oh, oh yeah, hell yeah. So
So,
Riverdale Road, I used to call it the Gates of Hell. That was a
yeah, so
place.
I lived right next to that road. And
Okay.
I drove that road every day, day and night, and I knew about the superstitions, but I never saw anything there either. You know what I mean? But they
Yeah,
always
no,
said,
no.
"Oh, they see a lady walking or something like that." You know what I mean?
Yeah, they used to call it the gates of hell.
Mm,
And we used to go back there and party at, high schoolers or whatever. But yeah, there were so many stories that were, like you said, the lady walking, or there used to be fires that would just start on their own. Ghosts in the tree lines and stuff like that. But I've been there multiple times at night, never saw anything, right?
yeah,
But you still get that eerie feeling because it's built up in your mind.
right, right. It's just
Yeah,
like, well, let's see what's out here. You know what I mean?
yeah, there ain't shit.
See if I see something. But yeah, I never saw anything, and I was traveling. I was probably traveling that for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I never saw anything. But I just want to
yeah. I
bring that
haven't.
up because it was a Colorado thing,
Yeah,
and I know
yeah.
there's
No,
other Colorado things we could probably discuss. I'm sure you know of some.
yeah, yeah. Stanley Hotel. Everybody, like, people come from around the world. That's where the movie The Shining was filmed. People
Right.
swear up and down that that's a haunted place. The Brown Palace Hotel, downtown Denver. People swear that that's haunted as well. But you know what I mean. I've never witnessed anything like that. You
Yeah.
firsthand, you hear a lot of stories, and yeah, you don't know the truth from reality. If it's a real thing, or somebody along the line saw it, or somebody back in the day, like when it first opened, said something like, "Oh, I heard this," and ran with it, and
Right.
it's just become a thing. All right, Jason, let's move on to the next topic. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Superstition?
superstition, old beliefs in a modern world. We, as humans, put a lot into superstition, and it goes back to the same thing, of the supernatural stuff, right? Stuff that we grew up with, stuff that was carried on from centuries ago, um, about what luck is, good or bad, right?
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
Friday the 13th, that's always been, ooh, right, a scary day,
Right.
right?
Well, because the numbers seem to be a big deal.
They do, and they're very important. And us as humans, we attach ourselves to numbers, right? Like we
Well,
said,
that definitely
Friday
goes back
Friday the
definitely
13th,
goes
right?
back to like biblical times and stuff like
Oh,
that.
right, probably
You
even
know what I
before
mean?
that. Yeah,
Numerology, it's in the Bible. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of
uh
numerology, or I don't want to say numerology, but a lot of things associated with numbers.
right, yeah, like Da Vinci Code, like they use numbers. The Freemasons, like you said, it goes back way back. But specifically number 13. Okay, why is it scary? Why is it a bad number?
You're asking
We
me?
don't, yeah, I'm just throwing
I
it out
mean,
there. What makes it a bad number? I mean, they don't put aisle 13 in airplanes. They don't put floor 13 in hotels and buildings. It's pretty wild to imagine that you wouldn't do that. Like, you wouldn't put an aisle 13 on an airplane. Why is that? Is that number that relevant that you have to take it out of everyday life?
yeah, the only thing I could come up with was, and I'm not trying to get into like biblical stuff, too much or anything like that, but you know, 12 disciples and Jesus makes 13, right? And so
Right,
that
he was the
basically
bad one.
what I found on it is that people feel like 13 is unlucky because Judas was like considered the 13th at the Last Supper.
Right.
So that's kind of like, maybe where some of that stems from. I don't know.
No, and it does, and like you said, it goes back that far. Another big one was the coils on a noose, right? When they'd hang somebody, there was 13 coils on the noose, right?
Mhm.
It
I
was
never heard
called
that one.
it was called the hangman's noose.
Wow.
When they'd hang somebody. Um,
Hmm.
so it comes from that. And Hollywood came in with Friday the 13th, and now it's just, ooh, the 13th. It's bad. It's just literally, it's just a day. It's just a number.
Right.
When you're really thinking about it. Um,
No, it's fun when that day rolls around. It actually hits that day. You know what I mean? Like Friday the 13th. You know?
Right. I have fun with it every time it comes around. I'll crack jokes or I'll post shit.
Yeah.
Last Friday the 13th, I posted a picture of Jason holding some balloons, saying happy Friday the 13th or whatever.
Right.
Jason from the movie.
Yeah.
So out of my 47 years in life, I've really never had a bad day on Friday the 13th.
No,
So
I
again,
never
it's
have
just
either.
right. It's something that culture has passed on, and like I said, it's wild to me that they exclude the number 13 off of buildings and airplanes and stuff like that, just to make people
Yeah.
feel warm and fuzzy.
Right. And even in like, I'm in the casino industry, so I
Superstition
mean,
is huge
numbers
in
are big in casinos.
numbers are big, colors are big,
Yeah.
statues are big, feng shui, the way the doors open, the way that the machines are faced.
Right. Yeah,
There's a
all
lot.
that comes into
Yeah,
play.
there's a lot of time and effort spent in that just to give the to give the player to make money, right? They want people to
Yeah.
feel comfortable about it.
Right.
They use the color red a lot. I noticed that in pretty much every casino I go to. There's red incorporated, the color red incorporated in the machines, on the cloth on the tables, carpet, wallpaper, lights. There's just always something red in a casino.
Yeah, and it's in the Asian culture, I think they said something about like they don't even like to come through the main entrance because it's unlucky.
Oh, really?
Like a main entrance to the casino, it's unlucky to come in through there. From what
So
I've
do, do
read
you
on that.
do you find a lot of Asian clientele avoiding the front entrance?
No, not necessarily. Not that I'm aware of, but like you were mentioning, like, tables, machines, things are set up with that
A
in mind.
certain way.
You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's no joke, it's
Yeah,
definitely a thing.
there was a story
Like
about the
people will
MGM.
not play there because of those things.
Oh yeah, 100. Yeah. There was a story about the MGM in Las Vegas, the lion specifically that sits outside of the casino. It was I can't remember exactly what it was. I don't know if it was the coloring on it or the expression or the way that the lion was facing when they first built it was bad luck in Asian culture. So they had to redo it. And I think they had to make him standing up or something. I want to look into it because it literally just came to my mind. And I remember hearing that story, but they spent millions of dollars fixing that issue.
Right.
It really had nothing to do with inside of the casino. It was a luck thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's a real thing, man.
Breaking mirrors, right? I'm in the demolition world, so I've broken hundreds of mirrors in my career, and I've never really had bad luck because of it.
People
But
say, so you're looking in a mirror at, the old in the old days they thought it was like, it's kind of like,
stealing your soul,
yeah, breaking your soul or something along because you can see yourself in the mirror, and when you
right?
break it,
It
that's where the bad
snatches.
luck comes in, you
I
know?
gotcha. Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotcha. Knocking on wood. Do you ever knock on wood?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's the point beyond? What's the point for that?
Usually it's because I just realized what I just said, and then I'm
No,
like,
no,
oh,
no, no.
I don't know the actual point.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but yeah, it's just like, hey, I better knock on some wood because that could come true, or you
Right.
know,
I say I use that expression a lot too. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
yeah,
Black cats crossing your path.
right, yeah. That's
Um,
another one. And it's funny because I try to avoid that. If I see a black cat, I will try to avoid it. And not because I even believe in that superstition. I don't know why. Like maybe it's just because I think like, what if it is? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't be crossing my path, motherfucker. You go around.
Yeah. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn left.
Throwing salt over your shoulder. Do you ever do that? I've never done it.
I have done it.
But
Yeah.
you have?
When you spilled the salt. Yeah. I've done it. Not that's another thing. Like, hey, not that I believe in it, but just in case. You know what
just, just in,
I'm
in case
saying?
there's that 1 fucking percent that something might
Right.
happen, I'm gonna throw this
Right.
little salt over my shoulder. Never done it.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, it can't hurt. Oh well, just gonna go ahead and do it.
Me being in the construction industry, walking under ladders, do it all the time. Right, I've done it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I
avoid that. I avoid
you,
that.
you will.
Yeah. I
What
do
what
avoid
about
it.
what about stepping on a crack?
Now that I don't.
Break your mama's back.
Yeah, no, that I don't. But yeah, if I see a ladder, I'll go around it. I mean, it's weird. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just for that just in case thing. You know what I'm saying?
they got you. They saw you
They
coming.
got me on that.
Stepping on dog poop. Some countries say it's good luck.
I haven't heard that one. That's
Yeah,
a new one on me.
yeah. Some countries say it's good luck. I say it's being a bad dog parent or cat parent or whatever that shit.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's
carrying a rabbit's foot. Right,
I've had
rabbit's
a
foot.
rabbit's foot.
Supposed to. Oh, back in the day, they were popular. You can get them out of the vending machines and stuff like that.
It's kind of gross though,
But
right
yeah,
now. I mean, it's kind of nasty. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it now that you're actually carrying around a rabbit's foot. Don't you think?
yeah, they probably weren't real. I think they were
Oh, it
they
was
were probably
real.
just. You think so?
Oh yeah. It was damn real. And they would like dye them different colors.
Dye them, yeah, green and yellow and
You know
whatever.
what I'm saying? Because I could like see the nails on the thing.
Yeah, but they could fake that.
I don't know, bro. It seemed really real to me.
What about the one where they say whistling at night? Have you heard that one?
No, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, so it's supposed to supposedly attract evil spirits if you whistle at night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe that. I whistle all the time, and
Yeah.
I've never had a bad spirit or bad luck over it.
Yeah, that's a new one. Yeah, I don't know anything about that one.
Whether you whether you believe them or not, it's something that we grew up with. It's something that has been burned in our brain. So, like you said, you see a ladder, you're not going to walk under it. You're not going to break
Yeah,
mirrors. You're not going to
right.
leave spilt salt without throwing it over your shoulder. That's just superstition, right?
Do you believe in UFOs?
I didn't before. I was always the skeptical person that said, it's weird motherfuckers that wear tinfoiled hats, and you know what I mean. I didn't believe as a younger adult. I didn't believe it. Now, probably for the last 5-6 years, with all these recent events and military fighter jet pilots are having close encounters, with seeing shit, with seeing actual unidentified, anomalies is what they're calling them now.
They got them on
Because
video.
they got them on video. It's hard to say that it's not a real thing anymore. Um,
Right.
it's the government hiding shit from us, right? And I get it. The government can't just come out and say, "Hey, guess what? There's other forms of life on this planet," and stock markets would crash. Like, so many bad things would happen. People would
You
just
think we'd all
freak the
freak
fuck
out?
out if Trump came out tomorrow and said, "American people, don't be alarmed, but we have evidence of unidentified other life forms on this planet." You
Yeah.
wouldn't freak out?
I don't think so, man. I don't know. Like, why would we freak out? Like, I mean, maybe people think, oh, that they're trying to like attack us or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so I listened to a guy. His name's Louis Elizondo, he's an ex-fed that federal agent. Like he's worked for the CIA, he's worked for FBI, and now he does like third-party shit for him, where he's an intelligence guy, and he reports on UAPs, I guess what they're calling them now, unidentified anomaly, paranorma. UFOs is what they were called before, but they're not considering it UFOs anymore because unidentified flying objects. There's many of visual evidence of these things in water. There's a story about those drill rigs, the offshore drill rigs that are out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
So these things are huge, and they found a UAP. They found it. They caught it on 4K camera, right next to one of these things, and it was like double the size, and it emerged from the water like so fast that everybody was freaked out. Or like it was
Right.
It was just it was a sight that was unbelievable. And a Navy ship captain, or I don't know if he was a captain or what he was, like he was a bigwig for the Navy, saw it and reported on it. But there's a lot of classified shit that these guys can't talk about because the government, the Department of Defense is saying, hey, we want to keep this under wraps. But there's so many different stories about fighter pilot jets, eyewitness events of these diamond shaped ships that are right in their line of fire, right? And it's weird that these other life forms, or whatever you call them, these UAPs are targeting military, trying to figure out, and like there hasn't been any bad instances where there's like them trying to shoot the military down or whatever. It's always been like curiosity events, right? And there, the government straight up said, we have parts and metals and shit that these things are built out of. Like they've come out and said they have it. This shit's real.
Right. See, the thing with me is that it's the aspect of time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The time travel, like for us, if we could even make it to another solar system, it would be years, right? Even traveling at light speed. I don't know.
Right.
I'm no expert, but even from us to get to the nearest solar system and to come back
would be years, millions of years with our technology.
Millions of years would have passed on Earth. Right. You know what I'm saying?
With our technology. Yeah, I agree 100%. And this Elizondo, he breaks it down as far as how this other life form has made it possible to bend time, to do the equation to where a flight from LA to Boston or LA to New York or whatever would take 5-6 hours, and they've come up with a way of bending time and using that equation to make it into an hour trip, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like if there was actually aliens, they would have to know how to do that for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because,
yeah, there's a lot of evidence out there now that that you can say that it's credible, and there is other life forms out there. You know what I mean? If who knows if they're if they live in the bottom of the ocean, or if they're on another planet, or wherever. We're just now starting to break into advanced technology, right? All the space, like SpaceX and Blue, what's the other one called? Bezos, Amazon Express. I don't know what it's called. I can't think of off the top of my head. But they're putting everyday people on spaceships and taking a day trip to the moon, or taking a day trip to Mars, right?
Right.
Technologies has come a long way, And I think government has a lot of secrets when it comes to this, and I don't know when it's going to break or who's going to be the first one to say, hey, we have this technology. The United States, we're an advanced country, right? We're always going to be a top dog. We're always going to do what it takes to be number one, right? Even talking about the Space Force, the extension of the Air Force, Space Force, it's kind of scary to think that we need something like that just because we're not used to it, right?
Do we need it though? I don't know.
I don't. Do we need it?
I think it may be just something to show other countries that we're doing something like that. You know what I mean?
Is it that, or
we
is
always
it?
Got it. Like you said, we're the top dog.
Right? Is it that, or is it we know too much shit that
I don't know
that we have to protect? Like we have to start learning on how to protect ourselves from a potential alien war, right?
I mean, that could be, but I mean, do we need to name it?
I guarantee that was in the conversations when they said, hey, to do something about space. I guarantee that was in the conversation. There's so much stuff out there that the government isn't saying to let all of us know that there is other life forms, that there is a higher technology out there. It's been seen, it's been witnessed, it's been talked about, it's been classified. You know what I mean? Like they can't, some of these guys can't even talk about shit because the government won't let them.
I just saw recently in the news, there's a young girl that they're basically saying she's going to be the first person to live on Mars. And they're like grooming her for it right now. I don't know who is, but she doesn't plan on coming back. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty wild to see this.
Yeah, and they made a movie about it too with Matt Damon, right? You remember that astronaut, or what was it called?
Oh,
Martian?
yeah, but they left him there on accident. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean he survived out there. And
he didn't have nobody to talk to. He didn't have AI.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of secrets out there that I think in the next 10 years maybe that it's all going to become a reality. And
for sure,
it's going to be real.
I mean, with AI, it's just going to break things wide open, bro.
Oh yeah. So to answer your question, do I believe in UFOs? 100% I do. I believe that there is other life forms. I believe that there is a higher technology out there when it comes to there's too many secrets. There's too many real life videos of spaceships and flying saucers or whatever you want to call them that have been exposed, and the government's hiding it from us because they don't want to create mass panic, I think is what it is.
Well, like that Las Vegas incident where the guy said that there was beings in his backyard. They called the cops.
Oh, right. And then
they saw something, like even the cops caught it on camera, that something streaked through the sky or something like that.
Yeah, and just
after
recently
that, these people said, "Oh, there's beings in our backyard."
Yeah.
And the video's wild. I mean, have you seen the video?
Bits and pieces of it. I couldn't speak on it. It was probably a quick little
yeah,
view
basically they got a gun out, and they're walking into their backyard, and to me it looks like something is standing right next to them, but it's almost like it's cloaked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, as far as like the aliens, and as far as them being exposed and being seen, I don't think that has happened. Right? Like
it's pretty believable in my opinion.
Like the doorbell camera. I think they're very curious on and very curious on what we do. There's places around the world. There's a place in Patagonia that the local police have built an observation tower because there's so much alien activity going on there. Like it's a real fucking thing. And it just all the events that we talk about, like it's all based around military, right? For whatever reason, I don't get into conspiracy theories and shit like that, but I think that I think it's real. I think it's real. In a nutshell, I think
Yeah.
it's real. Without
Yeah.
going into depth and detail about it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's start wrapping this up. Here's the thing: whether you believe in it, whether you believe in spirits, superstition, aliens, it's human nature to love the unknown, to search for answers, to enjoy the unseen, right? I hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to follow us. We're recently posting on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and all your social media networks. But take the time out, go follow us, like the episode on Spotify, like it on Apple Music, Apple Podcast, right?
Hey, and we got t-shirts. You can go to roguetees.com. You got our podcast t-shirt with me and Adam on it. We got Adam with an alien. We got a few other ones.
We got the graffiti text,
Keep
the
it
Gen
real,
X,
raw, and uncut.
the graffiti text, the
Graffiti text. Yep.
the Gen X.
Yeah, so definitely go check that out, roguetees.com with a Z. I'll put the link up on the screen. And yeah, it was a fun episode, man. I had fun. It was interesting.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of our realm. We're not used to talking about stuff like this. I thought it would be interesting. Jason thought it'd be interesting. Like I said, disclaimer: we're not pros on this topic. It was just something fun. So
Yeah, a
take
lot
it
of
for
the
what
things
it's
have been
worth.
in the news. So it was
Yeah.
like, hey, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it. Follow us on our Facebook, the Real Uncut Podcast, Real Uncut Vodcast, Instagram, TikTok. And be sure to follow us on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching The Real Uncut. As always, keep it real, keep it raw, keep it uncut. See ya.
Peace.
You're listening to the